If you are an Indian with the dream to live and work in the UK, then today's video is for you because the Young Professional Scheme is going live today from 2:30 p.m. IST and is going to be open for up to 48 hours. In today's video, we are going to be talking about all of the tips and tricks that you need to be aware about as an applicant for this scheme. And I will also be sharing a pro disadvantage of this scheme. So if you are interested in it, do not forget to watch this video all the way. But for those of y'all who don't know me, my name is Nikita and I make videos about living in the UK, working as a healthcare professional and landing your dream job. So if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, do it now. But also follow me on Instagram. My handle is Physiotherapy in UK. Let's get into the details, guys. So first things first, let's talk about the mistakes to avoid. Now, the Young Professional Scheme for India was opened last year, and obviously there were two draws in it, again February and somewhere in June or July. And there were several people who opted for this ballot and how successfully have come to the UK. I do know of this one person who's living in the UK right now on this particular visa. However, there were many people who've made really big mistakes in the process. And the biggest one of them is being confused and trying to hurry up with the application process. So when I say hurry up with the application process, what you need to remember is that as a part of this process, you do not need an email, you do not need a letter, you do not need to write anything specific to the UK government. All you need to do is make sure that you fill up an online application form which is on the gov.uk website, and the link for that will only open up on the 20th of February at 2:30 p.m. IST. But what's important is that you need to fill up your name and your address and your date of birth and all of the other details in a very clear way. Now, please make sure that all of these details that you are filling up on the form is correct, because a lot of you can be really anxious and stressed and fill up the wrong details. So please take your time and fill up the form in the right way. Now, if you are confused about what is the eligibility criteria, what are the details that I'm talking about, and what is it that you need in order to fill up this application form, please do not forget to check out this video where I've explained all of that in massive detail. But coming right back, the second mistake for you to avoid is putting in the wrong email address or the wrong phone number. Now, this is again a very legit mistake which many people make because of stress, anxiety, and just panicking when this sort of online application system comes up. Now, if you put the wrong email address or the wrong phone number, there are high chances that you will not be sent the OTP that is required in order to make the application. And therefore, because you'll not be able to verify it, you're most likely going to not be able to proceed on the online application form to put in your details and submit it further. So what can you do in order to avoid this mistake? Firstly, of course, go and have a check. Do not rush with the process. Remember, you have all of the time in the world. Write down all of the details correctly into the form. But the second thing that you can do is not about avoiding it, but more of what you can do after you've made this mistake. So if, for example, you've made a mistake by giving the wrong phone number, do not panic. It's absolutely fine. Just start a new application using another phone number or the correct phone number. This will ensure that you're obviously using the correct email ID and the correct phone number, and it should be fine. Now, the third mistake that I saw so many numerous people do over the last time the ballot was issued was trying to rush into making the application right in the first hour when the application portal was open. Now, this meant that so many of you guys were on there, and it just meant that the system crashed. Now, it obviously takes a few hours for the IT guys to set up all of the systems back online and make sure that it's all functioning well. So my recommendation to you would be, do not stress about this. The portal is open for a total period of 48 hours and it's not come on the basis of first come first serve. So if you make an application anywhere in that period of 48 hours, your application should be eligible to that ballot scheme. So my recommendation here would be, try to make those applications in the evening or in the night when you know most of the people are not going to be making those applications for yourself. Another thing for you to remember over here is that a lot of people think that it's fine to make more than one application under their name, and that's going to increase their chances of landing the ballot system or landing a successful application. Let me inform you that there is no such gain from this particular technique. You just need to make a single application because that's only what's going to be considered by the UK Home Office. Now, the fourth biggest mistake that a lot of people made was that they did not have sufficient funds to prove that they can support themselves once they were in the UK. Now, if you are seriously considering coming on this visa, make sure that you have that £2,530 in your bank account right now, because you will have only 30 days once that approval letter comes through in order to make your application, and those funds need to be in your bank account for at least 28 days. Now, one of my followers on Instagram asked me this question saying, Nikita, do you think it is worth taking out a loan in order to make this visa application and showing that amount of money in your bank account? And personally, the answer for this would be no, because I personally believe that it's not worth taking a personal loan in India to show this amount in your Indian bank account just to be eligible for this visa. Because let me break this down. So, the person that I was talking about who is in the UK on this visa currently has not yet found the job. So, once he landed in the UK, he started his HCPC process, which is obviously the license to practice as a healthcare professional in the UK. And obviously, it took a bit of time for him to get that HCPC registration and then start applying for jobs. And it's obviously been about a year now, and he's most likely got his job now. But that just meant that for all of these number of months, he was not earning as a physiotherapist. Obviously, he was living in the UK and he was potentially in shared accommodation, but he also had to sort out his groceries, his travel, and his day-to-day expenses. And UK is not cheap anymore, guys. So let me just inform you that if you are thinking that you're going to come here, you're going to scrum it, you're going to try and be budget friendly, and it's all going to work out for you, if you don't have the finances, please, please, please do not take the stress. It is really not worth it. So only if you have the financial backing of around £2,530 in your bank account right now, do go ahead and make this application. Because for instance, if you are selected in the ballot but are not able to show these funds in your bank account, your visa application will still not go through and you will be rejected. Now, the next mistake for you to avoid is about the passport scan that you need to upload. Now, many people get confused about this, and let's just get some clarity on what you should be doing. So, my personal recommendation would be to have the front and the back page of your passport scanned in a single document. So, a single document having the front page and the back page, and name it as your name and your passport number, and that's it. Now, it can be a PDF file, but it can also be a PNG file, which is an image file. I would highly recommend having it in a PDF format so that you can upload it directly onto the online application form. Now, the next mistake for you to avoid, and this is again another question from one of my followers on Instagram, is, Nikita, what if I'm graduating and I do not have the certificates yet? So one of the requirements as a part of the eligibility requirement for this particular visa category is that you need to show basic level of graduation. Now, obviously, your graduate diploma is also considered for this visa. However, as a rule of thumb, I would make sure to apply for this visa only if you have your graduation certificates with you. If you are going to be graduating really soon and you are considering about making this application, one key tip or pro tip for you to follow over here would be link up with your college or your university and make sure that they are aware that you are in the process of applying for this visa, and request them to give you your degree certificate or your graduation certificate a bit prior in advance if you do get selected for the ballot. And if they are not allowed to do this, please request them to make sure that they have some form of attested documents which state that you have successfully completed the degree and this is the certificate for it. Because if you do not submit this as a part of your visa application, again, there are high chances of your visa being rejected, and you would obviously lose the money that you've used in the visa application fees. And again, guys, this is not worth it. So only make sure you are applying for this visa if you have your graduation documents, or if you have your degree certificate, or if you have received some sort of assurance from your university or college stating that they are willing to issue you with some sort of certificate or an attested copy stating that you have graduated from that university or college at the time of applying for the visa. Now, just to answer a few questions that I received on my videos last year, but also this year, just to clarify a few doubts that many of you all might have, and which I think personally are going to be doubts that creep into everybody's mind. So firstly, one of the first questions that a lot of people ask me is, Nikita, can I make this application on my phone or my tablet? And the answer is yes. You can make this application anywhere and anytime using your laptop, your phones, or your tablets. I would just advise you though to avoid the stress and the anxiety, avoid doing it on your phone, and maybe stick to your tablets and your laptops. Just because it has a bigger screen, you can recheck all of the details that you are putting in and make sure that you're filling up the online application form in the right way. The second question that I've received quite commonly is, Nikita, if I've applied for this visa the last time, am I still eligible to apply for the ballot? And the answer is yes. You can obviously still go ahead and apply for the ballot whether you've been successful or unsuccessful in the previous attempt. Now, obviously, if you've been successful in the ballot at the previous time but have not made an application for the visa, so that means that you've not made an application for the visa the previous time or the last year, then you can still apply for this year's ballot. However, if you've made an application for the visa and you're in the UK right now, you cannot go back and make an application through the ballot system again, because that is what's not allowed. Another question that people ask is, Nikita, what if I'm in the UK right now, either on my student visa or on my work visa? Can I apply for this visa? And the answer is yes. So even if you're in the UK right now on a student visa or on the work visa or on the PSW, you can still go ahead and make these applications from the UK. Another question that people have is, say for example, their passport expiring really soon. Will their visa go ahead? And the answer is no. If your passport is expiring really soon, there are high chances of your application being rejected. So my advice would be to renew your passport right now so as to avoid any future disappointment. Another question that obviously plagues many people's mind is, Nikita, what if I've submitted wrong information in the ballot? Should I still go ahead and make the visa application? Say, for example, my name is wrong as compared to my passport, or my date of birth is wrong, and the ballot has been successful. Should I still go ahead and make the visa application? I personally feel that your visa application might be rejected if this is the case. That is, if, for example, you've submitted wrong details in the ballot and you are trying to submit your visa application with the right details, because the details are going to be inaccurate, your visa is more likely to be rejected, and hence I would advise you not to go ahead and make the visa application even if you've been successful in the ballot. I hope I've answered most of your questions, but if you have any further questions, do not forget to leave them down in the comment section below and I will try to get back to them. Hope you found this video useful. Take care. Bye.